Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Eye on Icon. This is the episode where we bring you the weekly news, everything that has happened on Icon, and what a week it's been. But first, before we get into that, normally I'd be saying, Icongrapher, how has your week been? But yet again, I find that he is on holiday. So with me today is Brian Lee. Brian, how are you today?
I'm doing well. This is round two.
Are we going to do that right now? Okay. Admit it. Tell everyone what happened, Brian.
Well, we did round one last week, but it turns out my audio wasn't recorded. Not my fault though. So
No.
it's not anyone's fault. Let's just blame it on Google.
That's look. I'll take responsibility. And in fact, I was thinking about this. Posting the episode where you just hear me talk and ask Brian questions, and there's dead air for 15 minutes, and then I come back in with a little, chime. But didn't think
That's
people would like it.
No, I think people would have liked it.
Okay. Well, we'll add it to the blooper reel.
Yeah, sounds good.
Cool. Well, let's dive in. There's a lot to talk about. What's first up, Brian?
First up is where the balanced airdrip is finally live. So I'm not exactly sure when it went live. I think it was sometime in the past day or two. But now you can go on app.balance.network slash airdrip, and you can start claiming your airdrip. So for those who are not in the know, or if you don't remember the announcements from back in January or February, there's actually going to be an ongoing airdrip of balance tokens for the foreseeable future. And of course, the first drip just started recently. And in order to claim this airdrip, you need to be delegating your ICX to a PREP, and you have to go to the airdrip page and claim it. The important thing to remember is that if you have deposited ICX into the balance network, of course, those tokens will not be eligible towards counting for this airdrip. So in order to participate, you do have to be delegating from a wallet that you control the private key for. So that would be something like IconX or MYICONWALLET. And also if you're on a staking platform that supports this airdrip. So right now, there's a few of those staking platforms. You have like IconFi, of course, and you have Binance. I think IconFi has officially announced support for the airdrip. Binance, I don't believe they've mentioned anything. So if you're on IconFi, or if you're controlling your own private key, you'll be able to claim these. And the only difference there is that on IconFi, it happens without you having to do anything. But if you control your own private key, you have to make sure that you go and claim these tokens each week. And remember that if you don't claim your tokens, you'll lose access to those. So you'll want to make sure that this is something you do each week, because turns out that balance tokens are actually worth some money, the platform is obviously doing very well, and I think that there's definitely good value to the token. So if you don't claim your tokens, you're kind of missing out on free money. So definitely something to do once a week, I think.
Who doesn't like free money?
Well, a lot of people on Twitter seem to not like free money.
Yeah, true.
Just this morning, I saw someone on Twitter is like, oh, it took like a few minutes to claim this. Totally not worth my time. Like a waste of time. And I just responded like, you don't like free money? It's like, is that really something to complain about? He's like, I only got 0.14 tokens. And I was just like, well, that could be worth like $10 someday.
Exactly. Hey, I'm holding on to 0.09 of a maker token that I'd gotten through providing liquidity, and I didn't swap it back.
Yeah.
I've kept it. That is worth $150 now. It was worth chump change before. So,
Yeah.
you never know. And keeping in line with we're bringing the balance news first because obviously protocols launch, lots happening. We always knew 1 week from launch the airdrip was going to be released. It has been released as promised. So I have also created tutorials showing you how to claim, but it is so simple. You don't even need to see it. It's literally click off a few buttons and it's in your wallet. One of the things you probably common questions seeing as well is, if you haven't interacted with the balance protocol and you do go in and claim your airdrip, the token you won't be able to see it in your IconX wallet, for example. The first thing you need to do is add that token in there. So there's tutorials out there. It's very simple. There's 3 dots. You add it in, but once you add it, you'll be able to see your balance off the balance token. Not intentionally playing with words there. What else? Okay, I think that's good. The airdrip, it's arrived. People should be happy because that's literally the last few days all I see on Telegram groups. Yes. When's the drip?
If you're not happy with this, go to the bathroom, take a long look in the mirror, and really ask yourself, what are you doing?
Are you balanced? No, yes. So, okay, next on the list we have, obviously, in line with balance, the team keep providing updates to everyone. So I'm just going to rattle off. They did this tweet and they had a few questions, but I'll give a quick summary. So first of all, no more gaming the liquidity pools. In fact, I'm just going to call it no more gaming any of it. I noticed very early on questions were asked around the snapshot timing for various for the balance protocol, and I noticed this being disclosed quite easily, which I actually personally got a little upset about because I knew why these questions are being asked. I'm not interested in the snapshot because I'm not trying to game the system, and it's good to see though straight away from just raising a bit of awareness around it and realizing what people are going to do, because everyone's going to try and play the system. They have announced that they're going to do, well, first, the LP system is going to have a 24-hour time lock. So, and the main reason around that is to stop people literally minutes before the snapshot, dumping a whole lot of liquidity in there, getting the snapshot, and then removing their liquidity so they don't have to worry about impermanent loss. And, it has other repercussions to the entire ecosystem as well, because the whole idea is the more liquidity we have in there consistently will stabilize the balanced price, will stabilize trading against all the other pairs, etc. So, these are the steps that need to be taken to ensure that the protocol is successful. Your thoughts, Brian?
Yeah. I think that this makes sense. Personally, I wasn't doing any of this gaming thing, but I think there were a lot of people who were. And you're totally right. If someone deposits a lot into it and then takes it out at a specific time, and if the time and if like the aspect of the platform that determines that time is the snapshot, then it'll be quite predictable to know when the platform would be unstable, would be not so liquid if people are all withdrawing at that exact same time. So, that could open up some other ways to game the platform. So it seems like a feedback loop of people trying to game the system. So I think anything that we can do, to make the system more stable, I don't think this 24-hour time lock is unreasonable. So I'm glad that they saw the problem, and they're taking action fast.
Yeah. And look, it's normal at times if you know how a process works to take advantage of it. So, it's part of the world we're in the crypto space. So I'm keen to see this 24-hour lock. I'm keen to see also further announcements, refinement to the snapshot process. It really should be, random and then average of the time, because there's some people who are taking the risk and supplying liquidity or have a loan over however long they want, because obviously there's just a 1% fee and no ongoing interest. So it's good that these steps are being taken to stabilize it. So the other point they called out was the airdrip. So obviously here we go. We're getting free stuff, but it wasn't the right amount. Now, do remember that for the first, not after the first day of the protocol launching, there's several other days that passed where liquidity providers, I believe, weren't getting the right allocation of balance tokens, rewarded. So with that, as they've been fixing it, what we've noticed as well is with the airdrip, the pool was considerably smaller because of that issue. So that will be rectified. Do not worry. No one will miss out on their tokens. The team have assured everyone and put some comments out there around that.
Yep. They've been very, very clear. So,
yeah. And what was the other one? The other one was and it's still happening. Some people are trying to claim, and I think, Brian, that was to your comment. Some people are going there and the site is timing out, or they can't get through. I haven't actually experienced anything like that, and I've gone there many times.
yeah.
But if it is happening, look, just keep in mind, a lot of traffic, nothing else. Just you have a week to claim. Don't worry, 3 days from now, it'll still be there. And on that note, the last thing to remember, and we didn't probably call it out earlier, was, with the airdrip, you can actually see how much has been claimed versus how much remains. Now, whatever doesn't remain for that week, it doesn't disappear. It compounds into the following week, tally. So it's good to see that, if people aren't aware, well, they're going to miss out, but the people who are aware of it will reap the benefits of the compounding effect.
Yeah. Indeed. Yeah, so I personally also have not encountered this issue with claiming the airdrip, and I think I've claimed it on maybe 4 or 5 wallets.
Oh, wow.
So I haven't run into the issue, but if you have run into the issue, then yeah, you have a week to do it. Maybe try to do it when other people are sleeping. Maybe that entails waking up in the middle of the night. I'm not sure. Depends where you are in the world, I guess. So, but yeah, let's just quickly go over some of the stats that we've witnessed, and I think since these stats have been compiled, I'm sure the numbers are even a little bigger now, but just to get a rough idea, so we have the balanced dollars, which are sitting around 16.5 million balanced dollars minted, and on
Brian, with that. Can we just ask this question and get everyone thinking? If 16 million balanced dollars have been minted, that's a fair amount of ICX being put up as collateral, isn't it? Because basically, that's unbelievable. That's huge for the token utility. Carry on, Brian. Didn't mean to interrupt.
No. So that's a good point to bring up. So on balanced, there's that 400% over collateralization rates. So if 16 million balanced dollars are minted, it would mean there would be at least 4 times more.
I think that's our next stat, isn't it, Brian? I jumped the gun. Sorry, TVL. So in the collateral, the total value locked.
Yeah, it's well, on this stat it says $99 million. There's probably more now, maybe.
Yeah, definitely.
And then on the DEX side of things, so the decentralized exchange, there's 81.72 million USD value locked up. So that's between those two pools, you're looking at $170 million that have been locked up just in the past week. And we have to remember that it's only been a week.
Yeah.
And in terms of the number of borrowers, there's over 2,000. Liquidity providers, there's 420 on staked ICX pair, and then over 1,000 on the other 2 pairs. So it does these numbers are look high to me, because I still kind of think crypto is kind of a vacuum. So if I see there's actually 2,000 people who are involved in the borrowing, and then you have over 1,000 people on each pair doing the LP, that's pretty cool to me, And it really makes me think like, oh, also if only 2,000 people are doing this right now, and the numbers are already so high in terms of like the number of dollars minted and also the value locked, it makes me think like, oh, what happens when we get to 10,000 people and beyond that. So and lastly, like the total fees so far have are now above $300,000. So once the fee share starts to be distributed for stakers of the balance token, then I think that could also be a pretty good stream of somewhat passive income. And the thing that we want to also mention is for those who don't know, there's a site called DeFi Pulse, which basically tracks the key metrics of a bunch of different DeFi platforms. All of them on the list, at least on the front page, are platforms on Ethereum. And there's one that is on Bitcoin. I think they count the Lightning Network or something as a DeFi platform. And actually, based on these numbers of the TVL, balance actually sits around number 35 on DeFi Pulse, which to me is amazing. I don't know if this is a case of DeFi Pulse only includes like platforms on Ethereum and Bitcoin, or if there are other DeFi platforms built on other chains that have similar high numbers. I don't know. I know that the Balance team is working on getting Balance listed on the site. I think it would be very good exposure. There's a bunch of Ethereum platforms. There's like Bitcoin. Those are the top two cryptos. And then like at number 35, it'll probably be higher by the time it gets listed, I bet. But just to see like what's this icon thing? It's like right next to Ethereum and Bitcoin. So what do you think about that? Have you played with other DeFi stuff on chains that are not Ethereum or Bitcoin?
So have I on? Not really, no. So
Yeah.
Ethereum, all of it. I have dabbled a little bit on the Binance Smart Chain, literally, and then I've used some side chains as well. But look, DeFi Pulse, was one of the original when DeFi started to kick off. They had the site, they were listing. It was all about total value locked. They were trying to track this metric. And I recall in the early days, it took over a year or almost a year for 1 billion to get locked in DeFi, just over a year. The second billion came in 6 months. And believe it or not, at my day job, they said, come to us, and I'm in insurance. They said, come to us with some ideas. And me being naive in this big, corporate world, went to them with DeFi insurance, an idea for smart contracts, like what Nexus Mutual did. So I created a presentation, and this was actually my pitch. That it took 1 year. In 2 years, after the first year, in the next 6 months, another billion got locked up, and in the next 3 months, we were close to 3 billion. Nothing ever eventuated from it. So one of my managers came up to me 6 months later. He's like, "Fez, what's the total value locked in DeFi?" And I remember looking at him and just smiling and going, "Oh, we're up to 55 billion." And he was just floored, And this is not even 6 months had passed since I told him it took 6 months to get another billion in DeFi. So, the site was all about that. And now I would say my personal view, maybe it's a bit. It's not as accurate because yes, there are the blockchains. Like we got heaps of stuff happening. Luna, we got heaps of stuff happening everywhere now. And if all of these were being factored and aggregated into the site, it would paint a far better picture for DeFi overall. Right now sitting at 66 billion. It's probably much higher, but it's just factoring mainly Ethereum and Bitcoin stuff. So agree with you there.
You're right though. Like, why don't they put more stuff on it? Is it like, I don't think we can do anything but speculate, but it just seems there's so much DeFi stuff going on by Binance Smart Chain. There's some stuff going on Solana. You have like Serum, and and Radium and all of these. And of course, there's like the Anchor stuff, the Mirror stuff. And, there's all of these chains that are obviously, I don't think they're going to go anywhere. I think they're actually here to stay. But it's interesting to see like the biggest DeFi tracking site just not pay attention to any of them, except for Ethereum and the Lightning Network, of course.
And the Lightning, I think we're quite close to the Lightning Network or above it. But what's interesting as well with these stats, so we're at number 35 based on that. But the next jump from 35, the next total value locked is 135 million. So there was the rest of them then go 99, 95, 90, but there's a considerable gap there. So I'm hoping by the end of the second week we've just closed that gap and looking strong high 30s. Hey, we're climbing up one of the list, and you know what? This is a huge list that matters. Yes, the top 100, but the top 100 of crypto coins, half of it is crap. Like, they don't have nothing going on. I'd rather be climbing up the total value locked in DeFi list, because that shows chain activity, actual users, because not one user just can't manipulate the system like that. So it's a good metric to be moving up on.
Yep.
So the other stuff with balance, so the team, remember, they have let us know that this week they are going to be backdating the LP rewards. So what I talked about earlier, they're looking to have that rectified within the week. The obviously the airdrip for the ICX stakers, the pool that's missing, it will be upgraded as well with the right amount. And then we've got the upgraded snapshot process that'll come into play. Now, this is on top of that 24-hour lock for the liquidity providers. This is the snapshot process I was talking about. That it looks like they'll upgrade it and just have it happening throughout the day at random times, so that there's no way to game that system from a loan perspective or get extra balance in the drip. So yeah, those were the other things. I think that's we're 22 minutes in. I think that's solid amount of balance coverage right there.
Yeah,
good.
I think so too.
Excellent. Okay, well, let's just take a moment to listen to our sponsors. Thanks to them, it makes this show possible and makes all the effort we put in coordinating everything worth it. So once again, a quick message from our sponsors, IconBet. IconBet has 9 games live in its casino, with poker coming soon. Open source decentralized gaming, no deposits, play straight from your wallet. IconBet, made by players, for players. And we're back. Okay, so next on the list, another new dApp has launched on Icon, and this is great. I love the way how quickly this has come to fruition. And obviously I'm talking about the NFT Bazaar. It is now live. Brian, tell me your honest opinion here. Are you impressed with the speed of which this dApp got made and got pushed to prod?
Yeah, it seems like just not a long time ago that we started to hear about this. It certainly was only maybe a matter of 1 or 2 months, maybe. Maybe I wasn't paying attention so close, but I don't recall seeing too much stuff about it before 1 or 2 months. So it did get built very quickly. I haven't bought anything on it yet. I saw that someone had made one of these ICX Moon mission cards with my profile. So I might go ahead and try to pick that up. I need to figure out how to get one of some of these Lambda X tokens, I think. So
LDX, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, look, they've got it all built into the site. So literally you can click, and through the process, even if you don't have it, it'll swap your ICX into, on testnet it was 250 LDX. I haven't checked it since it's been live. I'm going to be making a tutorial soon on it. But I want to talk about these moon cards.
Do you know who made these?
Yes, it was not, I believe. So he's been chugging away in the background with this idea, and it's so cool. And let's tell the
Yeah.
listeners what it is in case they haven't been paying attention. So the gang have gotten together and created these NFT collectible cards. Think like your card game Pokemon cards, but just to give concept. But they've taken all your P reps or known influencers or Icon Foundation individuals like Min, Scott, Ricky, and created these epic cards of their profile pictures, like a rare collectible card of all the Icon ecosystem people in that world. And they're actually cool. Even Corey's in there. Brian, you've got one. I don't have one yet, but we've got something special in the works over there. But it's awesome. And this idea, what I love so much about it, I remember like 12 months ago seeing these cards come about when NFTs were really kicking off on Ethereum. Similar cards came about for Vitalik and a few of them, and I didn't even give. I was like, I didn't look at it. But when you are and I remember people in the Ethereum ecosystem now. They were just raving about it. Everyone was trying to buy this stuff up, going, this is crazy, insane. I didn't think too much of it, but here I am on the flip side, really engrossed in the Icon ecosystem. When I've seen these cards, I'm like, oh, this is brilliant. I need to snap these up. Yeah. Go on, Brian. I kind of keep rambling on, but what are your thoughts?
I had no idea like these cards were in the work, so I just randomly logged on to Twitter one day and I saw someone had tagged me and said that there's now a Brian Lee Moon mission card. and I was like, what the heck is that? So I logged on and I found it, and I thought it was pretty cool because a lot of them, the illustration is just kind of like a cartoonified version of their profile picture. It looks like maybe it went through some kind of filter, but for mine, it actually looks like it was drawn, because my profile picture is just like kind of a memoji thing. I don't know if you know what that is, but it's like an apple kind of thing. But my moon mission card is like, it looks like me in a room with my laptop and I'm hacking away at something. So, it's pretty cool to think someone out there in the world, out of like the billions of people, like spent time to draw me and then tokenize.
Yeah. Well,
So I thought it was pretty cool.
And this is it. Like, that's it. It's like, so it's a Generation Zero. It's a one-time edition thing. And it's not of just any random. It is of people who are prolific, I would say, in the Icon ecosystem. That was the goal, to create a bit of buzz around it. I thought it was brilliant. I really liked what they did there. That was, to me, I knew the NFT Bazaar, they whipped that up in 2 months.
Yeah.
And I expect it to be heavily iterated on as to what we see it now, just how quickly they'll keep adding and evolving it. But I just loved in the background, it wasn't just about shipping some kind of place where people could list. They were working on little niche products that could complement the platform, which was great to see. Yeah,
indeed.
Brian, now this is where the second part of the confession comes in. So the episode, the famous blooper episode that has me talking to myself. Brian actually shared some of the tweets. We see Brian tweeting about line code and this and that and a bot doing this. And I spent some time with him where he broke down what everything meant. But maybe Brian may have to give the bit of a quicker breakdown rather than
sure.
But let's start with some of the line stuff you've been working, because you really broke this down really simply last time, and I was hoping we could capture that again. What are you doing with all that line code? What's the goal there?
Yeah, so like the past few weeks, I've kind of been making a lot of tweets, screenshotting my command line just on my computer with some icon related stuff. Maybe some people thought it was Photoshop. I don't know. But I've actually been working on some code, and I've been building a command line tool that's basically I like to think of it as a Swiss Army knife for different tasks that you may need if you're doing something in the Icon network. So uh, the main thing that I've showed so far was sending transactions. So, the idea that you can put all of your transaction info into a spreadsheet and then use this tool to execute all of the not the trades, the execute all of the transactions that are in the spreadsheet. And that can be useful for many use cases if you're doing some kind of system or game or some kind of thing that you need to send a lot of different transactions, and you don't want to have to go into the wallet, copy and paste this address, copy and paste how many tokens. If you have all that stuff in a spreadsheet, there should be a way where you can just import that somewhere and it sends it all for you. So that's like one example of what the tool can do. In the future, I want to expand the tool to do more things. So I've been working on adding different features into this tool. So I envision maybe this tool can help people set up a node. If they spin up a server somewhere, they can download the tool, input some stuff, and then just click a button, and then it installs all the stuff for them and sets up like the right things that they need to run a node. Another thing could be I'm working on some balanced stuff. So there could be a dedicated set of commands that do specific things on the balance platform, whether that's like checking your loans. Maybe it tells you how far you are from the threshold. And maybe there's even some things where it can help you, I guess, manage your pools or something like that. So I'm working on this, and it really came out of me myself wanting something like this. I have so many wallets, and I kind of spend so much time, on claiming my tokens each day, and it just gets to the point where if you do it every single day, you have to plug in your plug in your wallet. You have to open up Chrome, open up the extension, click this button, wait a few seconds, click this button. So if you do the math out, if you if you do that every single day for a year, actually turns out to be quite a considerable amount of time. So I was really thinking about like, what tools do I need to be more efficient, and just to make things faster? So that's kind of been the premise that I've been acting on. I'm really just building this for myself, and I'll upload it, and I think there's going to be people who find it useful. So if you're like into the command line side of things, or if you're not and you want to learn about how to make your icon related stuff more efficient, it's not like a super hard process to learn how to use the command line, at least the basics. I think it's going to be a pretty cool tool. So I'm working on it as fast as I can. The big issue the past week or two has just been balanced has just been taking up so much of my time. It seems like every single day I have an idea for a new bot, so just today I like made a bot to keep track of all of this historical data. A lot of people have been bugging me for that, and I'm just like, no, I haven't been keeping track of any of this data, so I can't do anything with it. So today I built a bot to keep track of everything from like the TVL of the loans of the DEX, the balance price, the APY, and all this other stuff. And I'm storing that into a database, I think like once every 5 minutes or something. So I think in a few days it'll be interesting to try to generate some graphs from that. And also I think it'll be interesting to see the differences in the data, like at key times in the day, like maybe during like the snapshot time, what happens before and right after it. So it'll be interesting to, try to wrangle around with the data and see what happens. But like, yeah, like besides that, I've been working on some bots to try to like buy balanced buy balance tokens at the price that I want. It keeps track of, what's the latest price. And so if it ever hits the price that I want and I'm sleeping in the middle of the night, you can go ahead and buy some.
So Brian, is this bot you're talking about right now? All of a sudden,
Yeah.
my brain is going, oh my god, I want in. Is it a command line kind of bot? What is it? How does it work from an interface perspective?
Yeah, so all of this stuff is going to be command line.
Okay.
I don't feel like it needs to have an interface because it's going to be quite simple. And actually, I don't even know if I'm going to end up releasing this to the public, but I just envision seeing it as like there's maybe a configuration file that you set the prices that you might want, and then maybe how much you want to buy, and then all you have to do is like run the bot with a command, and it'll just look. It might check every few seconds, and yeah.
So I think listeners out there, I think Brian's being very humble. To backtrack a little bit, a lot of the command line stuff around the scripting and running things, automating kind of pieces. From earlier conversations, Brian, I believe you're putting that all together, and then it'll be open source, or so that people could access it and build on top of it whatever they want. But that key aspect is being created that they don't have to build from ground up. Separating out the bot work, would that be a fair call out?
Yeah. So the Icon command line tool, I'm calling it Icon CLI for now. That's going to be on GitHub. It's going to be open source, so anyone can look at it. They can download it. They can use it. The bot stuff, I'm still kind of back and forth on, just because I don't know if I'm going to be able to do enough testing to make sure no one will ever lose their money or something.
Oh, okay.
I don't want people to use it and then there's a bug that I didn't account for. And you have to remember that I'm doing this like all for myself for free. It's not for a company or something. So there's always that thing where you're building like a trading bot or anything that has to manage capital. I don't want that coming back at me. So I'm still thinking about it.
Yeah, understand. Okay, great. No, it was good to get firsthand some of the insights of all the little pieces you're working on, or big pieces, but you're working on quite a lot at the moment. So it was good to get a bit of context around it. Thank you, Brian.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, so moving on with the news aspect as well, we have... Okay, this is a couple of quick ones. We've seen the IconDAO. So they are looking for devs. I thought we'd give it a call out. There's quite a few devs that listen to the show as well. So, or if you're a dev that wants to jump in on, just wants to get involved in crypto in some way, and you're a big iconist of some sort, and it's just like, what, I need an in. This is it. This is a team you want to be working for. They are working on. They've got their hand in everything, don't they, Brian?
Yeah, they've been doing quite a lot, and I think most of it has sort of been in the background, so people might not be super aware of it. But IconDAO, yeah, they're looking for some new devs now, and if anyone is interested in joining them, just reach out. I believe their team is based in South Korea, but I've also seen they've done a lot of stuff in Vietnam. I think right now they're planning some kind of lecture course that they're planning on doing at a school there. So Yeah, it's always nice to see some teams are trying to expand their dev team.
Yeah.
I also feel like that might be something that my team will be trying to do in the future. I feel like now is at the stage where a lot of teams are trying to expand their devs. I know that Sharpen, I guess they're Stakey now.
Mm.
Um, they're also looking for some devs. So
Yeah.
the Icon project is growing.
It's good. It's a good sign. And on that note as well, so we've seen some tweets from Min himself. He's said that some excited about some new hires the foundation has made, and IconFi, but I'm more excited about the foundation aspect because people who are right into the Icon ecosystem know there has been requests for a few things, some aspect of marketing that manages marketing. I know they're still on the lookout for that. I won't dive into that anymore. But a technical lead, that was something that was being called out for a long time. It looks like they have been successful in hiring someone and are looking to hire few others. And how I know this, I saw a bit of banter on Twitter. I didn't think it was the right forum for some of that banter. I took it straight to the Icon forum and I asked the question. And Scott literally in 10 minutes responded to each of my questions. And one was marketing, where are we at with that? Not as in hiring this marketing person that apparently we've been looking for. And by we, I mean the Icon Foundation. Technical lead, and that's where I got the answer that someone has been hired and start of May, they're being onboarded. And yeah, the other question I'm trying to get to the bottom of is this Juju Island question that I have, but I'm still working that through, and when I have it, I'll update on the podcast. But yeah, look, but I guess the point of that is it's great to see that there's some hiring happening, as if we aren't short on news anyway. There's been a ton of stuff happening in the background, and this is where we're at now, halfway through the year. So
Yeah.
it's exciting to see some of these hires come into place, and those aspects in the background just click.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. It's especially the technical lead. That's something I've personally been calling for quite a while. And as someone who's trying to become more technically oriented with all the stuff going on in Icon, I think that's gonna be great. To have a dev or a technical person who's very intimately familiar, I guess, with the tech, with the stuff going on that side of things. It's going to be great to have someone to talk to, bounce ideas off and stuff along those lines. So I'm
Yeah.
very excited to hear that's finally happening.
Brian, this is why I saved this news right now. I've known you've been very vocal about this point. This is a big part you love. So
I've written essays about it.
so it's great that I got to say this with you on the show today.
Yeah.
That's great. Okay, there's actually a fair bit of news. I was worried. I recall today when doing the last minute dash, thinking, well, what if we don't have that much news? But my God, there's a lot. Okay, IAM, so Icon Asset Management. We've talked about there. We know, the PREP index fund across the Icon ecosystem. And they've had their first token sale. So I believe it kicked off today at 2 a.m. my time. I'm in future land in Australia, so I believe hours. But it kicked off today, I think. So if you have voted, I don't think I know. If you have voted for them initially, especially at the start, you would be entitled to up to 1,500 IAM tokens. So and it's a fixed price. So you just have to log on to the dashboard, and the wallet, if it's voted, will automatically tell you that you're entitled to it. Just make sure that if you want whatever you want you only get that one-time buy. So you can't say, okay, I'm going to buy 200 right now. It won't let you then buy your up to 1,500. So be decisive there. And after this, then the next sale, I should have researched the date, but I think it's 24 to 48 hours from now. It will go to everyone, so it doesn't matter if you voted or whatever's left over. There'll be a public sale and people can buy it. So if you're not sure, previous podcasts, but definitely do a bit of research on what they're doing there. It's true. It's great, and it's very different. It's a very different take on the PREP model, which I like a lot. Brian, any thoughts there?
I know. I think you covered that very well. So let's move on to the next item here, which is an updated wallet. So Relaintnode, the developer of MYICONWALLET, for the smartphone and also there's a website. They're currently working on a new browser extension wallet for Chrome and Brave. So as you have noticed, I think the IconX wallet is kind of in a phase where they're only fixing bugs that have to do with the security side of things. It might be, I don't think we're going to see any like new features from it. It's kind of had the same structure, same feature set pretty much since it was released. So there's nothing wrong with that. It does what it was designed to do. It's a wallet. It lets you send tokens. It lets you look at your tokens and stuff along those lines. So, but MYICONWALLET browser extension is currently in the works, and I think this is going to end up being sort of the de facto wallet of the Icon ecosystem. They're on the smartphone now. They're also doing a browser extension, and there's going to be more features to it as well. So in addition to the standard wallet features, there's going to be like a dashboard to view different projects from PREPs. I assume that's going to be like maybe stuff that PREPs have submitted, and or maybe pulling in some data from the CPS. I'm not exactly sure what kind of projects are going to be displayed, but there's also going to be an interface that shows you like the different dApps within the ecosystem. So I think it's going to be, I think it's going to be this, in addition to being a wallet, just like a general ecosystem display kind of thing, just like Icon at a glance. So right now, Reliantnode is looking for beta testers for this new Chrome extension. So if you're interested in doing that, we'll be sure to include a link, in the show notes. They made a tweet about it. So if you're interested in that, that's gonna be great. I'll probably try to hop on that.
Already registered. So what I love about so the Reliantnode team, they're known to be delivering. They have delivered heaps. In fact, this project aspect, they've delivered a component on it. I don't know how much it's used, but it's good to see now. It'll get aggregated into the extension. But you're right. The IconX extension is actually crucial to doing everything in the Icon ecosystem, right? Until IconFi came along, that's taken over that centralized CFI kind of staking aspect. IconX is it. There's the MyIcon wallet on the mobile, which is brilliant, but the IconX wallet is just dated. It hasn't kept up. Let's compare it to MetaMask on Ethereum. Okay, MetaMask went chugging along in the same manner, not much going on. Then all of a sudden, you can see there's been a lot of love and attention spent on it. They've got inbuilt swaps, all these other features into it. All of a sudden, MetaMask is crucial to integrating with everything on Ethereum. Now, you know what wallet is amazing? And I can't believe I'm saying this, but when Seed came along, Icon Graphite reached out to him and he told me, install TronLink, I think it was. And this this is similar to IconX, right? All the blockchains have similar extensions. They work in the same way. That's Web3. That's how you interact with all the dApps. And TronLink was just brilliant. It had great UI. Okay UI, not great. But in it, I loved that it had all its dApps. You could click on a particular button in the wallet and it would show all the dApps available on the ecosystem. So you didn't have to go hunting. You just click on the dApp, it would load up in your web browser and you could interact with it. Something you just said there, really hoping that kind of integration comes through with my Icon wallet. If the guys at Relaintnode are listening, make it happen, please. But yes, that'll be my only shout out to Tron. I won't focus on anything else. But seriously, that wallet did impress me. Yeah, cool. But beta testers, yes, get in there. The more feedback they get, the better product it will be when it ships. So don't be shy. I've been beta testing everything. I sometimes don't even know what I'm doing. So I just love it. Okay, so other news. Project Nebula, our favorite NFT game, that space exploration game. Now, last week or the week before we announced, and they did their retro drop. So if you were holding a Gen 0 planet, part of the initial sale, you were being rewarded for just holding based on a tier system. Thank you. I got my spaceships, so that was great. Now, what they've done is they haven't forgotten about all the new iconists who've joined the community or people who have discovered the game. They have a marketplace currently where, you know, anyone part of the retro drop or the old planets that were released, they can be purchased on the marketplace if the users have listed them. Now, these planets are selling from 25 ICX that were originally used to buy them to 300 to 900 ICX. So it's a steep entrance. So the team have been great. They've gone, okay, well, how do we reward the new users? They have a raffle running now for the new spaceships, and it's at a flat rate of 25 ICX. So all you have to do is jump on the Discord. We'll put the show link in the show notes, and you literally click a button and you're registered. And then every week, I think they have a few ships that will get raffled off, and it's like spinning the wheel. If your name gets picked, you can say, yes, here's 25 ICX, and you own a ship. And to give you context, these ships, majority of them at the moment that were retro dropped, are trying to be sold in the marketplace for a minimum of 100 ICX. So again, here you go, free stuff. It's practically free. You're literally making money if you win it.
Yeah, I really like what they're doing. I personally haven't, bought any of the planets or anything, but I really think the artwork looks great. I would have no idea how to even get started into trying to make artwork like this. So when I see people just like cranking out, this awesome artwork, I'm just in shock,
Yeah, no, it's been great. Even looking at how the game's been evolving and stuff has been fantastic. Cannot wait for the release. It's actually should be quite close. I'll have to chase the guys up to get them on the show to tell us some release dates.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so then the next one, you mentioned them, Stakin. So their lossless lottery, we've had Eduardo on the Edward on the platform on Ion Icon before, and he talked about all the things that was going on, but he gave a hint of version 2. There has been a tweet, version 2 is out. So the main chunk of version 2, while I was keen to see some UI upgrades, Edward, if you're listening, that hasn't come to fruition just yet. But what I do like is they've expanded the scope of it. So each of the pool prizes, the weekly prizes, is tiered now. They're 3 unique winners, and they can win, from awards to the main pot, and then there's smaller pots. But at the same time, the sponsors and the actual prizes now are not just ICX. It can be ICX, it can be any IRC token, or even NFTs. So For example, 3 weeks from now, Project Nebula is, say, doing a launch. They could go to the Stakin lossless lottery and go, hey guys, your next week we'll give 3 NFTs for your following week's prize as well. And, kind of merge the ecosystems there, because it is a lossless lottery after all. And people who are building products, etc., can kind of donate it to the lottery to give to the winners. So there are more options being put on the table, which is just fantastic. So it is still a really good update there, enabling a lot for the Icon ecosystem. Brian?
Yeah, I think it's cool how they're able to, in addition to just ICX, also be able to include NFTs and different tokens. It just makes me think, because the work that I'm doing with Coda, we're actually trying to tokenize the revenue stream of like a piece of music. So it would be interesting to see if, that like maybe a token that represents like 3 months of, the profits of this song could be offered off as a prize. That's something that's not possible in the real world right now. There's just no mechanism to even do that. So that would be cool, I think.
Edward, if you're listening, get in touch with Brian.
Brian, if you're listening, finish building the thing first, and then we can talk to Stakin over here.
Love it. That's good. That's good. Okay. Now, and one of the other last little bits, and this is quite crucial. So one of the UI information updates up part of the site is, you can now see, based on, say, if you're chipping in 10 ICX into that weekly, it should tell you, based on that, there's this much percentage likelihood of you winning the pool, and the last wins, all kinds of stats are now listed on the site as well, to give you a bit more information about your chances and what's going on with the previous draws, etc. So that's good to see. I know that was also asked a lot about. Because this is exactly what's been created on Pool Together. Brian, that's the protocol. That's the first lossless lottery on Ethereum that launched. That's my first foray into DeFi. And so that they have all those metrics listed when you go to deposit. It tells you, and it's quite insightful. So it's good to see that Stakin have joined the club and displaying that information as well.
Boom.
Okay, now let's close this off in the news section. Wanted to give this a bit of a big call out. So Corey, I saw he tweeted yesterday that he has got a podcast coming up, and now I just like the title, the Lightning DeFi, the first incubator and cross-chain software for Binance Smart Chain. So I believe that they are looking to kick off and become a P-Rep on Icon, run a node, and look, anything now when I start seeing other chains that are interested in running a node or coming across to Icon, all I keep thinking about BTP. So I've given this a shout out. It's not that I have inside information that this is possibly the case. That's all I just feel and think about. So definitely one to tune in for. It's coming up in the next week or so from memory. So Brian, your thoughts?
Well, I know that there were a few companies that are partnering with Icon to work on BTP. I forget if Lightning Labs is one of them.
Yes.
I know that IconDAO is working with a few of the companies, to build out different connections. I think there's one that's kind of connected to Polkadot. There might be one that's connected to Binance Smart Chain, but it's like, I think even if it had nothing to do with BTP, it's still good to, talk with companies and projects that are outside of Icon. I'm always trying to, I think it's always good to be aware of, like, there is a world outside of Icon. There is a lot of stuff going on within Icon, but I worry sometimes that a lot of the community might be inside a vacuum. So I noticed that Corey has been very proactive in trying to reach out to different um, projects that are outside of Icon. So he's been doing that by like I noticed that when he tweets, sometimes he also tags like a bunch of other coins, which I think is a great idea.
Yeah.
And he's been proactively like reaching out to projects to talk with them. So uh, I think that's great. Icon is all about connecting different chains. So what Corey is doing, trying to reach out to different chains to not only teach them about Icon, to not like shill them Icon, but to actually learn what they're doing and perhaps see how Icon can help. So yeah, I think Corey is doing a great job, and I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah. Agree. And yes, you're spot on. And this is exactly where Corey's just got it right. He's already liaising with people in different chains. And you know what? Anytime he noticed someone, and I've noticed there was that musician High Res, was it someone? The straight away,
Yeah,
so that he tagged him in it, and he responded going, "Did you say Icon? Yes, I'll do anything for ICX." I was like, "Oh, this is great," So kudos,
yeah,
thank you, Corey, for everything you do. But and that is definitely an AMA I'm going to be listening to, and hopefully I'll actually write some notes and give a bit of a breakdown of the news. But that's not the point. You should be watching that definitely. Now, I think that's all the news we have today, and I noticed we are ticking across that hour. However, I do have Brian hosting with me a couple more episodes, and I wanted to capture what we lost last recording. So if you've been in the Icon ecosystem for a long time, the Rhizome team has been there from the early days, and I used that opportunity knowing that to ask Brian how the team came together. How did he put the team together? What was the story there? So Brian may have to get the quicker version, but definitely
yeah,
don't leave out the key points. Tell
yeah.
us, how did Rhizome come to be?
Yeah, quite frankly, I don't think it was like super interesting. I was involved in Icon from a very early stage. So, back in the initial this is just a white paper days. And by the time that the P-rep thing even came up, I was kind of quite content just doing what I was doing. I was doing a lot of writing, doing a lot of analysis back then. So if you go back in my blog history back to like 2017, 2018, you could probably see like a post about Icon every like 2 or 3 days, just 2,000 to 3,000 word posts, just cranking them out. And there was so much stuff to write about, and I was very excited about it. And at some point, I heard about this P-rep thing, and to be honest, at first I kind of had no interest in joining because I had no idea what it was. No one really knew what it was, and I just kind of ignored it for a while because I thought it was super technical, and I wasn't nearly as technical back then as I feel like I am now. So I didn't do anything, and then long story short, uh, a few people in the community who I respect, I think Radio Friendly was probably one of them. To Infinity, maybe, like a few other Icon OGs. We were all talking, and they kind of um, influenced me, to start up a P-rep team. So I ended up doing it, and the focus of Rhizome, and this is something we've kind of received a lot of FUD about in the past, where we said we were going to focus on marketing, and we did for a while. We were cranking out the content, doing podcasts. We have the newsletter still. We were doing like weekly streams and all of this stuff, and we got good reach. I think out of all the Icon content on the internet, I don't have any hesitation in saying that my blog posts probably have the most views just based on the traffic that I've captured. And we've done a lot on the marketing side. At some point, we slowed down and kind of switched over to some more dev stuff. And yeah, so we were initially a marketing team. So I had reached out to my friend William, who helped me out with a lot of content stuff. So like me and him were kind of the initial people, initial members of the team. And then next stage, I was thinking about like, oh, who else is really good at writing content? So I reached out to Iconographer because he had written stuff on his Medium blog. I thought it was very good, very detailed. He clearly is very smart, knows what he's talking about. So, and I even heard now he has a podcast. And and yeah, so I reached out to him, and then he joined the team. And at some point, there was like this weird time where the community was just focused on the idea of teams having a technical person.
Yeah.
Like there was a weird like 3 or 4 months where I felt like the community thought like had this groupthink kind of thing where, oh, if a team doesn't do anything related to technology, they're not worthwhile, or something like that. And this is something we felt. And at that time, I had been doing a lot of infrastructure stuff in the background, which is very, very technical, but it's not flashy, so people don't really care about it. So I was trying to like learn how to actually like make apps and stuff like that, and I was like, oh, this is getting nowhere because I have no interest in like building an app that looks good, or I just like to do like the back end stuff. I don't like to
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm like, what am I gonna do? So I was just like scouring the Icon dev Telegram, and I was just checking out different devs in there, and I ended up on Andrew, and I reached out to him, and I was like, hey, do you want to like join my team? And then he joined, and we were joking last time that he's like the token dev on.
The token tech guy was the
Yeah,
exact
right.
terminology.
Yeah, he's the token tech guy on Rhizome. Every single team has a token tech guy. It's necessary in order to become accepted by by the community. But no, I'm just joking. He's been great, and we've worked on a bunch of different things. And yeah, he's kind of the brain power behind the Metrics app, which I believe is probably the most used app in Icon. I think we probably have close to 2,000 users now, which is just about like the number of people involved in balance.
That's right.
Coincidentally, I don't know if that's an actual coincidence, but
I think one thing, the balance numbers would be pulled from, well, I'm guessing from wallet connections, right? So,
yeah.
But yeah, look, the app, the version 2, we've had Andrew on the show. It's been great. I can't wait to give him a bit of, hard time around the token tech guy. But look, the app's looking great. The second version is looking brilliant. In fact, I actually touch base with him a lot, and every day he's sending me pictures of some new idea he's going to implement or looking at putting into the version that you guys are looking to ship soon. So but yeah, it's great. It's going to give us a wealth of information now that we have some dApps. So apart from IconBet, which is huge, but we have balanced and people are going in and using, just like people go and use IconBet. They're using balance. The app becomes more important for the Icon ecosystem. So really excited for that to launch soon. Brian, you haven't got an exclusive date of launch, have you?
Nope.
Oh,
Nope.
damn it.
Like I think every day or two I get an invite in my inbox to test the latest beta version, so Andrew is pushing those updates almost on a daily basis. And since we're all internally enrolled into the App Store beta process kind of thing. It's called Test Flight. We're able to install the beta versions, but with respect to like when a production release is going to happen, that will happen when it does. Probably sometime in the next few weeks. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. It's really up to how fast the dev process goes, but we're working hard on it. Yeah.
You know how sometimes you play that game, I'll ask a question, you just say yes, no, or the first word that comes to your mind. I was really hoping to get a date out of you. That's why I just quickly fired it off to see if you answered it, but I didn't really expect anything. No.
All right.
Thank you, Brian. Look, I did enjoy the retelling of how the Rhizome crew got together. A fact that many people may not realize is everyone's quite dispersed in different countries and get together and have been 4 years delivering quality content for Icon. And I know this because I used to read all the content, and that's how I got involved in Icon and hovered in the background. So I'm forever grateful. Thank you for that story of how it came to be. Appreciated it, Brian.
No problem. I'm glad that you found the content helpful. I kind of want some metrics as to how, like, what % of the ICX token supply is influenced by my blog. That would be a cool metric to look at.
Yes, it would. Maybe add it to the list of bots you're going to create.
Right, yeah.
Cool. Okay, look, we're over the hour. Once again, few things coming up. We have lots of content coming up. But Daiki is going to be on from OM on now. We're going to record it on Friday, my time in Australia. So I think in America, that's Thursday night. It's coming soon. This week, there'll be another episode after the news. We're going to talk about OMM. I've been noting down all the questions. A lot of them I had noted already, so we will be asking away. I will try to ask a lot of around the bridge and how all that component pieces are going to work. It may not be as technical as people hope, but even a brief overview I think will really help give a lot of exposure and context to a lot of iconists out there. So
yeah, looking forward to it.
Yes, and Brian, you'll be there, so excited about that as well. So thank you everyone for listening. If you like our content, make sure you subscribe, make sure you follow the podcast, leave some comments, give some feedback, share this around. This is the easiest way to make sure you're across everything that's going on Icon, because obviously I on Icon. So thanks again for listening, everyone. Brian, thank you for being here with me tonight. Chat soon.
Yep. See ya.